Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than I usually do. So today I'm just going to give you guys my take how to lose fat in 2024. It's nothing crazy, nothing that you can't find already, but these are just some tips to help you at least get started on your journey to your fat loss. Okay, so first things first. The first thing that we want to grab is basically an app to track our calories. This is my personal way of doing it. There's many different ways that you could do it, but I'll probably touch on it later, but I haven't really done it myself. But what I personally do is I grab an app off the App Store. Currently, for me, I personally use Macrofactor, which is paid. Alternatively, you can grab two other ones for free. There are many different ones, but these are the other two that I've personally used. Cronometer and MyFitnessPal. Cronometer is the one that I recommend firsthand because that's the one that I would use if I wasn't using Macrofactor. The reason I prefer Macrofactor is just because I can log my weight and it'll kind of help me adjust my calories to suit my goals. But that's neither here or there. You can easily do that yourself. I just think it's easier for me. Quickly, before I forget, the other app, basically the second app that I recommend, Cronometer, not to leave out MyFitnessPal, but I prefer Cronometer over MyFitnessPal because I feel that Cronometer is a little bit more accurate. It's probably not that much more accurate, but for certain foods, I found that Cronometer did have it, while MyFitnessPal didn't have it at all. So that's why I recommend Cronometer so much. Okay, so for the second thing you're going to need to lose fat, aside from the fitness app and training and diet, mainly you're going to need time along with variables. Variables come along with time, and time comes variables. What I mean by that specifically is that some days certain things will occur, family events, family outings. Sometimes you're going to break diet, and that's perfectly fine if it doesn't happen too often, too much. So it shouldn't happen within maybe a day or two. It should happen more like in the line of a week or two. But then again, if you're just starting out and you kind of cave a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Kind of just like anyone else would tell you. And kind of just try and come back to it the following day. Fine. You had whatever. It's not going to hurt you, but have the diet in check. The reason the diet is important is that you should feel good. You should be able to train. You should be able to do your cardio, and you should be able to feel at least somewhat rested by the end of the night. So kind of just to give you something I would do is probably have a good amount of vegetables during the day. And then I would prefer to have my heavier carbs, or maybe heavier carbs and like a lighter snack at the end of the day, kind of a treat. Hey, I have enough calories at the end of this. Cool, great. I'm going to have, chips, Oreos, cookies, snacks, whatever it be. Or if it happens. Also, one more thing is that you're also going to need to find your TDEE, your total daily expenditure. And you can pretty much find that anywhere online, but the site I use is tdee.com. I'll link it in the description so you guys can follow it and basically give it a shot and input in your values and see what you get. One more thing, I do recommend keeping your protein pretty high, pretty much as high as you can manage, and that will definitely keep you full, definitely at night, throughout the day, and will help you recover while you're in a deficit. Since you're most likely going to be working your muscles, having the extra protein will help your muscles recover. Also, one more thing that I didn't really mention earlier is basically the amount that you want to take off. Anywhere between 500 to 700 is probably going to be enough to get you started. Now, depending, how much you weigh and how much everything is, you may need to increase the deficit just that much more. Maybe by an extra 250, maybe even 300 if you have to. Basically, you will kind of figure out what works for you and what isn't working. So again, definitely some experimentation will be needed, but that's okay. You have all the time. If the weight loss is a little bit too aggressive for your liking, or if you're just feeling absolutely terrible, you can also increase the calories by an extra 150 to 250. And again, some days I don't feel great. If I'm in a deficit, I definitely will add in just an extra 150 to 200 calories just to get me back going until I have another break. So another reason that I say that being okay with how long it's going to take. Basically, at some point, the reason I say that time is kind of your best friend phase is because fat takes a little bit longer to kind of come off the leaner as you go, and that's perfectly fine. Just remember to keep going. And also another thing is that I do recommend taking a day or two at the end of like every 1 to 2 weeks, depending how far you are. So if maybe you're 2, 3, 4 weeks in, whatever, I recommend taking a day or two to kind of just eat some food back to get refueled, because your body does come under some stress, and when under stress your body will retain water. You'll be a little more stressed out, and you'll also not sleep as well. So that's why I do recommend taking 1 or 2 days, usually just one, and just one day to kind of, recoup, recover, and come back to your diet as normal. And if you've been dieting down for like 3 to 6 months or so, I recommend taking 2 weeks to a whole entire month off of dieting. Keep training, keep on, doing your cardio, and you'll pretty much be perfectly fine. So for my sentence for cardio, this is kind of like free choice and borderline optional. What I do for cardio, for me, I use a treadmill. And for the treadmill, I'll go on for 30 minutes, 12 and a half incline, 2.9 speed, and that's pretty much it. And I just do that for 30 minutes. I'll go on my phone, listen to YouTube, listen to music, whatever it is, and just to distract me until I'm pretty much done, set, and ready to go. Pretty much for the next segment, and this is going to be a smaller segment once again, which is just pick a weight training program and just kind of just do it and kind of just try and get your training wheels, try and get progressively stronger with time. And again, you will need time. There's nothing wrong with that. Aside from that, that's kind of it. And one more thing, in case I do happen to forget, in reference to what I was saying earlier, more beginning or midway through the video, depending how this gets cut up, is that the other way to basically kind of have a calorie deficit is to basically just have basically 3 servings of vegetables and then basically have one bigger carb at night. But it's kind of personal preference. That's just what I've done and I know to work. But you could pretty much have it throughout the day, just, basically within your calorie range and whatnot. Anyway, if you guys liked today's video, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll make sure I see you guys in the next one. I'll probably do something else with this channel, but let's see how it goes.